In this orthokeratology case, we have a case where the patient is a little bit undercorrected and there's a little bit of staining um, at 3 and 9. So what I would recommend doing in this case is lifting the periphery of the lens a little bit since it is pretty flat out here in the periphery. We can increase the diameter of the lens. It's a huge cornea, and that should help a little bit with our centration. And then we will tighten up vertically so that we get better seal off and finally flatten the base curve a little bit. Here's the lens that the patient is using right now. We need to make a note of the OZ and IC positions because that will change when we change the diameter. So with wave lenses, you can go up to an 11.9. Once you get past 11.9, then wave categories is the lens as a corneal scleral, and that moves us into a different area altogether. So we'll max out 11.9, and then we'll bring the OZ and IC control points back to where they were originally. Next thing we'll do is lift the edge in the horizontal meridian, and we'll do this in 50% mode. We're in a GSIM design, and I'm going to lift two separate areas, one at the blue and then one at the pink. Lifting at the pink will just get the edge of the lens, off the cornea a little bit. So 3-9 staining, is it because there's too much clearance and the cornea is drying out, or is it because there's not enough clearance and the edge of the lens is rubbing against the epithelium and causing damage? I'm going to guess that there's not enough clearance in this case, so we're going to lift the pink and the blue. We'll lift the blue first, and right now we're at a sag of about 712, so I'm going to lift this one 10 microns, and our new target will be 702. We're at 702, and then I'm going to lift the pink another 6 microns, so here we'll be at 1946. And then in the vertical meridian, I'm going to do the opposite. I'm going to increase SAG so that the lens hits the cornea a little bit sooner than it currently does. And then we'll build in 10 microns here. So 731 will be our target since we're starting at 721. And finally, I'm going to flatten the base curve about a quarter diopter. So we're starting with a 0 power here. We'll go back to 100% mode because we're going to do this all the way around the lens. And we'll click up until we're about a plus quarter. Right about there. Go around and make sure we're even. We can probably even this out a little bit more. And then bring this one down. Oops, this part has to be in 50% mode. Okay, so it looks like we're pretty well centered on plus a quarter power. Almost forgot, we have to readjust our center thickness because that changes when we change its diameter. I believe it was at 0.25 originally. The original value I think should work. So those are my thoughts on this case. We're just adjusting the periphery mostly, and then a little bit of change to the base curve, get your patient seeing a little bit better and with a little bit less staining after lens wear. Hopefully this is helpful. Best of luck with your patient.